This is an advocacy project on LGBTQ by Taylor, Katie, Britany, and Vinny. LGBTQ stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning. In 1994, LGBTQ history was started even though the LGBTQ community has been a part of our society since ancient civilizations. In 2015, LGBTQ is celebrating their 50th anniversary of the LGBTQ civil rights movement.
Some are unclear on the technical definitions of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning. To clarify, lesbian is a female attracted to another female. Gay is a person attracted to another member of the same sex, often used when a male is attracted to a male. Bisexual is a person attracted to either sex. Transgender is someone who doesn't identify to their assigned gender, and questioning is someone in the process of exploring and discovering their own sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression.
In 2005, Massachusetts became the first state to legalize same-sex marriage. As of today, there are 36 states that have legalized it. Leela's law proposes the elimination of conversion therapy. Conversion therapy is the act of trying to fix someone who is gay or transgender. It has never been proven to work and usually causes more harm to the individual than good. Leela Alcorn was a 17-year-old transgender girl whose parents made her undergo conversion therapy. This attempt was unsuccessful, and she later wrote a suicide note and posted it on Tumblr before walking into an oncoming traffic and killing herself. This led to Obama calling for the end of conversion therapy to minors.
In current events, a big court case has come to attention to the Supreme Court. It has been labeled Obergefell versus Hodges. The issues associated with the cause encompass a lot of things involving family dynamics as well as sexual identity. In the Supreme Court, they're discussing what a marriage means and what it means to be married and what's the point of it. Together, the NPR talked about some of the main points, and there's a little clip for you to summarize what they discussed.
No, I think not. And of course, these justices have been thinking about this question for years, so we don't really expect the oral argument to maybe change so many minds. It might affect how the opinion is written, but it mostly gives us signs as to where the justices are at. And the signs I got were that they were quite divided. So Justice Kennedy then coming back to the lawyer for the state and saying, well, I have some hard questions for you too, and that is that I had the sense that the purpose of marriage was to give dignity to these relationships, and it certainly seems that you're denying equal dignity to these couples who deserve it, and also that the importance of these relationships, he said to the lawyer for the state, is you say it's to promote child rearing, but these couples are raising adopted children and doing it in a very important role, and that seems to cut against your position as well.
In fact, the lawyer for Michigan who represented the state's point of view, John Bruce, kept hitting that over and over again. You know, there are lots of definitions we could have, but the one we have emphasizes procreation. And of course, at that point, Justice Ginsburg said, well, what about a 70-year-old couple? They're not going to engage in procreation. And he said, well, the guy could. That's basically what he said.
Yeah,
that didn't go over really well. And there are all kinds of reasons to get married. Many members of the court said, what is the justification for excluding these people from getting married? And the court was deeply divided. You could just see it from A to Z.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to predict the outcome. You know, the Chief Justice asked hard questions of both sides. He asked, for example, why is it if Joe loves Jane, he can get married, but if Joe loves Mike, he cannot? Is that not sex discrimination as apart from every other thing in the case? So he was raising issues of both sides, as the Chief Justice tends to.
Yeah, so in summary, marriage, does it equal procreation? Is it all about having children? Because there are some couples that may not be capable of carrying children. Does that mean that they aren't married? Do they not have the right to get married? That's the nagging question that should be decided by June nationally. Whether or not this is going to change is to be decided.
As many people know, Bruce Jenner recently sat down with Diane Sawyer for an exclusive 2-hour interview during a special edition of ABC News 2020. In the interview, Bruce bravely told the world of his decision to transition into a woman. Let's take a look at a video clip from the interview.
We're talking about all this stuff. Yeah, let's take the damn ponytail out.
A symbolic moment after 65 years. In a sense, we start again. Are you a woman?
Yes, for all intents and purposes, I am a woman. People look at me differently. They see you as this macho male, but my heart and my soul and everything that I do in life, it is part of me. That female side is part of me. That's who I am. I was not genetically born that way. As of now, I have all the male parts and all that kind of stuff. So in a lot of ways, we're different, okay? But we still identify as female. And that's very hard for Bruce Jenner to say. Because why?
Something Bruce was very adamant about was explaining the difference between gender identity and sexuality. He stated, it's apples and oranges. Gender identity has to do with how you identify yourself as a person inside, whereas sexuality is simply who you are attracted to. Bruce did a great job of explaining many of the misconceptions the public has with people in transition. We would encourage all who are listening to watch the interview.
Aidan Dowling is in the running to be the first transgender male on the cover of Men's Health magazine. In an interview, he was asked what his primary goal was in entering the contest, and he replied, "The goal was to get on the leaderboard to raise awareness. That was the initial goal. Make a statement, get a trans man on the cover. That was it." This has been opening new doors for transgender people everywhere because he's showing young people that you really can achieve anything.
We hope that from this presentation you can gain a new understanding of some of the issues members of the LGBTQ community face every day. Imagine what it feels like to go day after day feeling uncomfortable in your own skin, afraid to show your true self. The personal stories integrated into our presentation can give a new perspective into the lives of those struggling and allow us to gain compassion for others. If you or someone you know is struggling with any of the topics brought up today, please reach out for help. The GLBT National Help Center has hotlines available for both adults and youth. The hotline phone numbers can be found on the Help Center's website. Lastly, as future teachers and psychologists, we must think about how we will approach LGBTQ issues that arise in our students' lives. Take this presentation as a platform to expand your knowledge of the subject material.